I wrote about Jorge Lorenzo on my website last year, and it was one of my favourite columns of 2015. Why? Because after Aragon last year, where he broke out the shark fin celebration after destroying the field, a reference to Rossi's Misano helmet where he tried to play the underdog role, I laughed as BT Sports' James Tozen had the sheer audacity to claim that his antics were arrogant, and that would only make him never as popular as Valentino Rossi because of how unsportsmanlike it was. Really? Taking a page out of Valley's book, The Greatest Showman in Motorsport History, would make you less popular? Get the fuck out of here. I used to be one of those people who couldn't stand Lorenzo. I thought he was boring, robotic. He moaned a lot. To be honest, he still kinda does now. He tended to win his races in a boring, dominant fashion. Made him an easy hate figure. But as time has gone on and the politics of MotoGP between riders has shown its uglier side, I've grown more of an appreciation for 99. Lorenzo doesn't want or care for the antics of Valentino. Despite Valley having the sport wrapped around his little finger and has had its way for the last 15 years now, Jorge has gone about his business. The once fragile, mistake-prone rookie sporting the 48 has evolved into not only one of the greatest MotoGP riders ever, but also one who's as mentally resilient as anyone in sports today. And to make him stand out even more, he's now learned that it's okay to give it back a little bit sometimes too. Qatar back in March was another Lorenzo masterclass. Smooth, efficient, stupidly fast. He then did the zip in his mouth celebration at Parc Ferme, claiming he made his statements on the track in a direct shot at Valentino Rossi. If Rossi had done the same, we'd be claiming he'd be playing mind games, another branch of his genius. Jorge has earned the right to stunt. He's arguably the best rider in the world right now, and is quickly cementing his legacy as one of the greatest ever. And this is great for a sport that soon has to deal with Rossi hanging up the levers at the end of 2018. I mean, why else would Jorge Lorenzo go to Ducati all of a sudden? It's a move that not only speaks of his career and potential, but also to get away from a Yamaha team that still hails Rossi as the Oracle. When one of your crew members goes on the record and says a Rossi title win would be worth 5 of Lorenzo's, it says all you need to know about the dynamic in the locker room. And with Rossi, it's gotten to the point where he might now be doing more harm than good. Like a certain recent superhero movie hitting the big screens this past month, we're starting to question the status of Superman. The Sepang incident and the aftermath exposed the brutal nature of what I called yellow fever, as Rossi's fanbase got defensive as the magnifying glass showed the cracks in Rossi's mental game. A former champion, reduced to conspiracy theories and crying of betrayal like a jilted ex-girlfriend because Marc Marquez dared to play ball the same way he did a decade earlier. Jorge is the new Lex Luthor, the kryptonite, the guy who is smart enough to see those flaws and exploit them. And it's worked. After all, he's 2-1 against the greatest ever since his return to Yamaha in 2013. See, he's the natural villain, the grump to the bright and buoyant characters of Pedrosa, Rossi and Marquez, but sometimes that's a good thing. Superman needs a Lex Luthor. Max Biaggi and Sete Gibernau in the end only made Rossi's star power greater, and now Lorenzo is in the precise position to do the same. If anything, Lorenzo being that brooding, brilliant talent only further enhances the nature of the wrestler-esque good guy, like the baby-faced Marquez or ladies' favourite Danny Pedrosa. You know why Lex Luthor became obsessed with trying to destroy Superman? Because he feared that the human race would one day become too dependent and reliant if Superman would always come along to save the day. He feared we as a human race would be held back. And if anything, Superman is a universe of a story of how a god lives amongst men. After Sepang's collision seen around the world divided an audience and Valley forced fans to pick a side, it's why Lorenzo is so necessary in today's MotoGP, and it's why he's often proven to be so great over the years as the sport's most consistent, constant force. Because for him, he may not be the hero the sport deserves, but he may certainly prove to be the one it needs.